All right, today we're diving straight into the AI revolution. We're going to look at a mind-blowing scientific breakthrough, the insane amount of money making it all happen, and the global race to write the rule book for this whole new world. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's start with a number that's it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. $130.5 billion. That's what NVIDIA is expecting in revenue for this fiscal year. And that isn't just some number on a spreadsheet. It's the perfect symbol for the sheer scale of this AI boom. It's literally the fuel powering the entire rocket ship. And this quote from NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, just nails that feeling of momentum, advancing at light speed. I mean, think about that. We're not just talking about slightly better software anymore. The mission here is to fundamentally rewire entire industries. That's the kind of speed and ambition we're dealing with. But what does all that cash and all that speed actually do for us? Let's zoom in from the big abstract world of finance to something incredibly personal, incredibly profound, the fight against cancer. This is exactly where all the hype starts to feel a lot like hope. So here's the fundamental problem scientists have been wrestling with for decades. Cancer is just unbelievably sneaky. It can basically throw on a camouflage cloak, making its tumors totally invisible to our body's own security team, our immune system. So how on earth do you fight an enemy that you can't even see? Well, this is what's so cool. This outlines a totally new way of doing science. See, researchers at Google DeepMind and Yale, they didn't just throw things at a wall to see what would stick. Nope. They built an AI to run this massive virtual simulation with thousands of drugs. But it wasn't just crunching numbers. It was searching for one very specific thing, a compound that could effectively rip that camouflage right off the cancer cells, something that would basically make them wave a giant flag telling the immune system, hey, over here, I'm the bad guy. And get this, it pinpointed one specific drug, CX-4945, and predicted it would work. And when scientists took that prediction into a real lab, the AI was dead right. And this number? This is the payoff. The AI predicted this drug could make those cancer cells about 50% more visible to our immune system. That's not a tiny little adjustment. That is a massive leap forward, a leap that could unlock completely new ways of treating people. And it happened because an AI could think about biology at a scale and a speed that, frankly, is just beyond what a human being can do. So what kind of AI can even do something like that? It's pretty obvious it's not just about math. This is about an AI that has a much deeper, more complete way of understanding the world. Let's take a look at the actual tech that makes this possible. The magic ingredient here is something called multimodal AI. And look, the easiest way to think about it is this. Instead of just giving an AI a book to read, you give it eyes and you give it ears. So now it can see pictures, it can hear sounds, and it can read text all at the same time. This lets it grasp context in a much richer, way more human-like way, connecting the dots between all these different kinds of information. And because this ability is so incredibly powerful, the market for it is just exploding. I mean, we're talking about a jump from just under $2 billion this year in 2024 to a projection of nearly $11 billion by 2030. That right there tells you everything you need to know. This is not some niche little experiment. This is fast becoming the new standard for all advanced AI. So why the huge boom? Well, it's pretty simple. The benefits are massive. An AI that can see, hear, and read all at once just makes fewer mistakes. It understands nuance. You can interact with it way more naturally. And maybe most importantly, it's just so much better at tackling messy, complex, real-world problems. Everything from diagnosing diseases to piloting self-driving cars. Now, all of this amazing technology, it requires an equally amazing amount of power and, of course, investment. So let's zoom back out and take a look at the huge economic engine that's making all of this happen. I mean, just look at this trajectory for a second. This isn't just growth. This is hypergrowth. NVIDIA's revenue more than doubled in a single year. It jumped from $61 billion to a projected $130 billion. That's a 114% increase. That's the financial tidal wave that's pushing this whole revolution forward. And what's really fascinating is where that money is coming from. A lot of people know NVIDIA for their gaming graphics cards, right? But that's become just a tiny sliver of the pie. The overwhelming driver here is their data center business. That's the hardware that powers the cloud, that enables the very AI research we were just talking about. It accounts for a staggering $115 billion of that revenue. Just incredible. So, with this much power, both computational and economic, you get these profound questions about responsibility. As the technology races forward, so does the global effort to create some guardrails. The story now shifts from what AI can do to what it should do. And a really key piece of this puzzle is the European Union's AI Act. It's one of the first big, comprehensive attempts by a major global power to actually regulate AI. And the core idea isn't to ban AI, but to create a kind of traffic light system that's all based on risk. And this table breaks it down perfectly. So at the very top, the red light, you have stuff that's considered an unacceptable risk. Things like government social scoring systems or using AI for emotional recognition at work. That stuff is just flat out prohibited. Then you have the yellow light, a high-risk category for sensitive areas like hiring or deciding who gets a loan. Those will face really strict rules and oversight. And finally, the green light, which is where most everyday AI like chatbots and spam filters will fall, a minimal risk category with very few new rules. And it's really important to know this isn't all just happening overnight. They're not flipping a switch. These regulations are being rolled out in phases. The total bans on the absolute riskiest AI systems, those will take effect first, toward the end of 2024. And then the rules for all the other systems will follow over the next few years. So when you step back, that's really the story of AI today, and it comes in 3 acts. First, you have the breakthrough. AI's leaving the lab and solving real life and death problems. Then you've got the boom, this massive economic engine pouring fuel on the fire. And finally, the rulebook. Society catching up, trying to build a framework to manage this powerful new tool responsibly. Which, of course, leaves us with what might be the single most important question in technology today. All of these forces, the science, the money, the rules, they're all tied together. The real challenge for all of us is to find that perfect balance, to keep pushing for incredible, life-saving innovation, while at the same time demanding a future that is safe, fair, and responsible for everyone. Thanks for tuning in.